Hello everyone, Princess Full Moonfall here. Hope y'all are doing wonderful and great. Today we are still talking about Nessie's cousins or distant relatives. Bessie inhabits Lake Erie, the southernmost and shallowest of the Great Lakes. It's 241 miles long and 57 miles wide at its widest point and has a maximum depth of 210 feet. This lake is on the border between Canada and the United States. Its northern shore is on Canada's side, with the states of Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York bordering the other side. Most of Bessie's sightings happened around the South Bay area and near the Lake Erie Islands. We will be referring to her as Bessie because she has lots of names like Knockoff Nessie, Lemmy, Great Snake of Lake Erie, the Lake Erie Monster, and South Bay Bessie. In 1793, the crew of Felicity claimed to Bessie just north of Sandusky, Ohio. They accidentally disturbed the monster shooting at ducks. In 1817, the boat's crew reported a serpent-like creature. Another sighting that year was another boat crew reported a 60-foot-long, copper-colored creature. Again this year, two French settlers, the Dessau brothers, saw Bessie on the beach of Lake Erie thrashing around as if in pain. The creature was about 30 feet long and looked like a sturgeon with arms. They ran to get help, but by the time they got back it was gone. They think it got washed back out, but the only thing that was left were the marks in the beach along with silver scales the size of silver dollars. In July 1892, an entire crew witnessed a battle between Bessie and an unseen foe. Bessie was around 50 feet long and 4 feet in circumference, with viciously sparkling eyes and large fins. For about 45 minutes in 1896, 4 eyewitnesses near Crystal Beach saw a 30-foot-long creature with a dog-like head and pointy tail. In 1996, Ken Golick was fishing off a pier when he heard 2 rats below. He decided to throw rocks at them when he saw the creature, saying it looked like a cigar shape that came out of the water. In 1969, Jim Schindler was on South Bass Island when a serpent-like creature came within 6 feet of him. He didn't see the length, but the width was about 2 feet, and the creature was about 1 foot underwater. In September 1981, Dessau saw a snake-like creature that could capsize a boat easily from Cedar Point. In 1983, Mary M. Landau sat on her porch before dawn. On the left side, she heard a rowing sound along with seeing what looked like a capsized boat. It was about 40 to 50 feet and a greenish-brown color. She realized it wasn't a boat, but a creature with a long neck. Bessie appeared to be playing. In the summer of 1985, Tony Schill and friends were boating on the lake when they saw a serpent-like creature, dark brown and a flat tail with 5 humps protruding out of the water. In 1985, Dale Monroe was boating when he saw Bessie. He said she had 3 humps and was black and also twice the size of his 16-foot boat. In May or June of 1989, Gail Kastner got a fish finder graph from Ken Smith. The graph showed a sonar reading of a cigar-shaped apparition about 35 in length, just 30 under Ken. July 8, 1990, Susan Season saw Bessie 2 miles from Cedar Point. Her description matches the others. September 3, 1990, Bob Siracco was jet skiing off Port Clinton. He thought he saw a porpoise like a dolphin or whale. Coming from Florida, he knew what they looked like, but Lake Erie has no such thing. When he tried to get a closer look, it went under. In September 4, 1990, a man and his family went on a fishing trip. The family claimed that a black creature was about 35 feet long and had a snake-like head that swam alongside their boat, keeping pace at 1,000 feet from their boat. The dad wanted to get a closer look, but the son freaked out, saying it was bigger than them. On September 11, 1990, fire inspectors Jim Johnson and Steve Dirks saw Bessie from a 3rd-story window facing Lake Erie. They said it was dark blue or black, about 30 to 45 feet long. They saw 3 parts of the creature above water, and it laid motionless for 3 to 6 minutes and was fat on top. On September 16, 1991, Dennis Shechachinski was fishing 3 miles offshore in Maumee Bay when he saw something long and black swimming in front of him. On July 28, 1998, Leslie Rosgatis saw 3 black humps moving around in the water 500 feet from Huntington Shore. They thought it was a tree, but they watched the creature swim around for 5 to 6 minutes in the calm water before going under. In 2021, Greg Evans was in the Cuyahoga River in Cleveland when he saw a large shadow about the size of a kayak just below the surface. Around February 14, 2022, they found an enormous 11-foot-long egg that is believed to laid by Bessie. They studied the egg, doing their best not to mess with it too much, and found a live embryo. They think the creature that laid the egg had to be around 150 feet long. That's all I could find about Bessie. If I missed something, please let me know because I love stuff like this and Bessie seems very active too. The next monster I want to talk about is Chessie, a sea monster that lives in Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in the United States. An estuary is an area that isn't fully enclosed by land, letting access to the ocean where river or rivers flow into the body of water into the ocean. 6 states surround Chesapeake Bay: New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Chesapeake Bay is 30 miles at its widest and 200 miles longest. The average depth is 21 feet, while the maximum depth is 174 feet. In 1936, a military helicopter was flying over Bush River and saw something reptilian and unknown in the water below. A lot of people don't believe that this is true because the earliest helicopter flight was in Stratford, Connecticut, 3 years later in 1939. In 1934, 2 fishermen saw it about 75 yards away from them. It looked like something floating on the water. The part that was out of the water about 12 feet was black, and its head was about as big as a football, shaped as a horse's head. They said it turns its heads around several times, almost all the way around. In 1943, 2 fishermen saw a 12-foot log floating about 75 feet away from their rowboat. They didn't think anything of it until the object got closer, raising its head out of the water, lethargically taking in its surroundings. They claimed that the creature's head was the size of a football, resembling a horse's head. The men freaked out, but before they could row to safety, Chessie dove below the water, exposing the rest of her body, which was about 24 feet long. In 1963, a helicopter pilot saw Chessie while flying over the lower Bush River. He wrote a letter saying, "I assure you that Chessie exists. All my eyes were deceiving me." In 1978, witnesses claimed to have seen Chessie near southern Maryland, Calvert Cliffs State Park, and Westmoreland County, Virginia, at Potomac River. In 1982, Robert and Karen Fruit were near Kent Island and recorded what they thought appeared to be Chessie. The video just showed a brownish object moving side to side like an aquatic snake. In 1997, someone claimed to have seen Chessie at Fort Smallwood Park swimming very close to the shore. On April 5, 2014, at 1:40 a.m. on Arundel Beach Road next to Magathie River, the tide was high when they saw Chessie less than 5 feet away from his car. She was like a snake-like creature, 25 to 30 feet long, without fins, topped with a football-shaped head, and was black. The creature didn't rise out of the water, just surfaced on the water, swimming in a serpentine motion. They didn't take a picture because the person trying to figure out what they were staring at. That is it for today. I hope you'll all have a good one and see you all later.